What's up, guys? Focus Friday. Hope y'all are doing amazing, ready for this weekend. Focus Friday, we're really just kind of catch up on the news for the week regarding mass casualties, church violence, things of that nature, so that you guys can get your minds right as you go into the weekend to serve your church. So, have a few news stories, if you haven't heard them, pretty significant regarding church security. One is in Singapore, there was a priest who was stabbed in the face during Mass. So it was during communion time. This person had 5 weapons on them. While he was in line to get communion and stepped up to the priest, he stabbed him in the face, getting a laceration to the mouth area. The priest survived and was subdued by fellow parishioners in there. There was no mention of a safety team or anything of that nature. This story really calls to mind just the importance of really kind of keying in on understanding that the priest is usually targeted. And so adjusting and arranging our security protocols around that reality. So especially during communion where it's dynamic and people are moving, that we have resources close to that area to rapidly respond, hopefully detect things early. Throughout the Mass, though, that needs to be the case as well. I don't know how many stories I've read where somebody is allowed to go up to the altar during Mass. So that response time is critically important. So whenever we are talking about setting up our safety teams, distance to the priest is critically important. However, we got to balance that with not being distracting to the Mass. So we are not looking for personal protection for the priest throughout the Mass or anything like that. We can't be distracting. So the reactionary gap has got to be understood and well planned while still maintaining the sanctity of the Mass and not interfering with that. Right? So that was one. This article also brings out, if you haven't read it, it's really good. Now this is worldwide, but in different areas of the world where priests have been targeted. One died from an attack just this past week. So a lot of targeted attacks, definitely towards Christianity and priests in particular, just this week. So here's one out of Monterey County, California. So 2 arrests after a shooting, wounding 2 at a church gathering. This was later in the evening. So it was at a church though. So an event that was held at a church, then shots rang out, or there's an altercation. The suspects were arrested. So just keep that in mind as you guys have events that are on your church property, understanding that security needs to be in place, whether that is, a parish event or if people are renting that space or what have you. Either if it's an outside community that's renting our space, then they need to provide security. If it's our people, then we need to provide security. So either way, there's got to be a response immediately there, hopefully to deter and detect that before anything happens. But we know that parish life is very fluid and very busy. So planning ahead and having your staff and folks, volunteers that participate in these things have security top of mind. Understanding access control is a huge, huge thing. So definitely something to consider. Last news story here is federal officials warn Boston churches to increase security after a wave of arson. So the ATF actually put out an official notice for the Boston, Massachusetts area because there's been a rapid increase in vandalism, particularly arson, directed at Catholic churches. Not just Catholic churches, but Christian churches. Catholic churches had been impacted by that as well. So vandalism is through the roof. In that Fox News report, it was talking about the rapid increase in the attacks against the different denominations. The Jewish community certainly bearing the brunt of most of that rapid increase, but each group segment, Christianity, Muslims, were all under attack. There's several reasons for that, but the reality is we just need to be aware of it and that risk is real and is there. And it happens absolutely really, really quick. So we have to be ready. So those are the news stories, kind of catching up for the week, preparing you for Saturday and Sunday. Really appreciate y'all's service. I did want to bring out just some scripture from St. Peter. This comes out of Peter 5, 7, and 8. This is hopefully will give you guys some strength this weekend to pray with. I always pray with this. It's really quite good. So it goes to this: cast all your worries upon him because he cares for you. Be sober and vigilant. Your opponent, the devil, is prowling around like a roaring lion for someone to devour. So that first part is relying on Jesus, right? So we are there. We're his hands and feet, though, with regard to security to protect the innocent. But we have to have a prayer life. We have to be in touch with him. That's why we would have the purpose of even being there, to protect the church and Jesus Christ. Just pray with that this weekend. Peter 5, be sober and vigilant, right? So be prepared, be ready and on the lookout, because the devil is definitely active. He doesn't like pushback. He likes us to just lay down and be lazy, honestly. But whenever there is pushback, he's going to send some attacks. And so we're seeing that over and over again. Guys, hope you all have a blessed weekend. Stay safe. Take care. We'll see you next time.